Has your heart ever just shattered into a million pieces when your child, the one you love more than anything, turns to you and shouts, "I hate you"? Oh, those words. They can land like a punch to the gut, can't they? They echo in your mind long after they've been spoken, leaving you feeling stunned, heartbroken, maybe even angry, or like a complete failure as a parent. If you've been there, please know you are so not alone. It's a moment that rocks even the most confident parent. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. We're not going to shy away from how painful this is. Instead, we're going to explore it together with compassion and understanding. This isn't about quick fixes or magic wands, because honestly, those don't really exist in parenting, do they? This is about finding practical, heart-centered ways to navigate these incredibly tough moments, to understand what's truly going on for our children when they lash out like this, and to find pathways back to connection, even when it feels impossible. We want to move from that place of hurt and confusion to a place of greater understanding and a stronger bond with our kids. So where do we even begin when those words hang heavy in the air, feeling like a thick, dark cloud between you and your child? Well, the first thing to remember, and this is a big one, is to try with all your might to look beyond the words themselves. I know, that's easier said than done when your own emotions are swirling. But those 3 little words, "I hate you," especially coming from a child, are often a Trojan horse. They carry a hidden message, a much deeper, more complex emotion that your child simply doesn't have the words for yet. Think about it. Our children, especially when they're younger, are still learning the vast and complicated language of emotions. They feel things so intensely: frustration, anger, disappointment, powerlessness, sadness, feeling misunderstood. And sometimes "I hate you" is the only way they know how to express that huge, overwhelming wave of feeling. It's like a pressure valve releasing. It's not necessarily a carefully considered, factual statement about their enduring feelings for you. More often, it's a raw, unfiltered cry of, "I'm hurting," or "I'm overwhelmed," or "I don't know how to handle this feeling." Imagine your little one. Maybe they've been told no to something they desperately wanted: another cookie, more screen time, a play date that had to be canceled. Or perhaps they're struggling with a really tricky piece of homework and feeling completely incompetent. In that moment, the frustration can feel enormous, all-consuming. And out it comes, "I hate you." It's their way of saying, "This feeling inside me is too big. I don't like this feeling. And you're the closest person, the one I usually turn to, so you're getting the brunt of it." So, the very first step, right there in that heated moment, is to try and take a tiny step back internally. Just a little pause. Before you react, before you let your own hurt or anger take over, ask yourself, what might be underneath this? What's my child really trying to tell me? This doesn't mean the words don't sting. Of course they do. But shifting our perspective, even just a little, can make all the difference in how we respond. It's about becoming a bit of an emotion detective for our child. We're looking for clues, not just reacting to the surface-level explosion. And this isn't about excusing the words, but about understanding their origin. Because when we understand, we can respond in a way that helps rather than harms. Now, once we've taken that breath and tried to understand what's going on for them, what's next? Well, that brings me to something really crucial: how we actually respond in that moment. Our instinct, when we're attacked, is often to defend ourselves, to lash out back, or maybe to shut down completely. It's so human to feel that surge of, "How dare you?" or to want to immediately correct them, to tell them how hurtful they're being. And sometimes, yes, we might need to address the disrespect later. But right in the heat of that moment, a reactive response usually just adds fuel to the fire. it can escalate the conflict, make our child feel even more misunderstood, and create a bigger wedge between us. Instead, what if we aimed for a response that's rooted in calm and connection, even when we're feeling anything but calm inside? This is where we, as parents, have a chance to model something incredibly important: emotional regulation. It's about showing our children how to handle big feelings without losing control. So you take that deep breath we talked about, maybe another one. You try to keep your voice as steady as possible, and then you acknowledge their feeling without necessarily agreeing with the "I hate you" part. For instance, you could say something like, "Wow, I can see you're feeling incredibly angry right now," or "You sound really, really upset." See how that's different from "Don't you ever say that to me again," or "Well, I hate you too"? You're not condoning the words, but you're validating the emotion behind them. You're saying, "I see you. I hear that you're struggling." This can be incredibly disarming for a child who's expecting a fight. It's like you're offering a lifeline instead of a lecture. Now, this doesn't mean we let our children walk all over us or that there are no boundaries. Absolutely not. We can and should set gentle but firm limits. So, after acknowledging their feeling, you might add something like, "It's okay to feel angry, but it's not okay to say hurtful things like 'I hate you.' When you're feeling calmer, we can talk about what made you so upset, and we can also talk about how we speak to each other in our family, even when we're angry." The key here is the "when you're calmer" part. Trying to have a rational discussion or teach a lesson when your child is in the throes of a meltdown is usually a recipe for more frustration on both sides. Think of it like this: when your child is flooded with emotion, their thinking brain, their prefrontal cortex, is kind of offline. They're operating from their emotional brain. Our calm presence or validating words can help them feel safe enough for that thinking brain to slowly come back online. It's a process. It takes practice, for them and for us. There was this one time, a friend of mine shared, her daughter, who was about 7 at the time, screamed, "I hate you," because she couldn't get a new toy she saw at the store. My friend told me her first instinct was to yell back about how ungrateful she was. But she remembered this idea of responding calmly. She took a deep breath, knelt down, and said, "I know you're really disappointed about the toy, sweetie. It's hard when we can't get something we really want." And then, later, when they were home and things were peaceful, they talked about how much those words hurt and about other ways to express disappointment. "It wasn't easy," she said, "but it felt so much better than the screaming match that could have happened." It takes incredible self-control, doesn't it? But the payoff, in terms of connection and teaching our kids healthy emotional expression, is huge. So, we've tried to understand the why behind the words, and we've worked on responding with as much calm and empathy as we can muster in that difficult moment. But what about afterwards? After the storm has passed and the house is quiet again, and maybe you're left with that lingering ache in your heart. This is where the really important work of repair and reconnection comes in. These explosive moments, as painful as they are, can actually become opportunities. Opportunities to deepen our understanding of our child, to teach them valuable life lessons, and, believe it or not, to strengthen our bond. It's so tempting to just want to move on, to sweep it under the rug, especially if your child seems to have forgotten all about it minutes later. But taking the time to revisit the incident when both of you are calm and regulated is so vital. This isn't about relitigating the argument or making your child feel guilty. It's about creating a space for genuine connection and understanding. You could start by saying something like, "Hey, can we chat for a few minutes about what happened earlier? I was feeling a bit sad when you said you hated me, and I wanted to understand more about what was going on for you." Notice the I statement there. We're sharing our own feelings in an age-appropriate way. This isn't about blaming them, but about helping them develop empathy by understanding the impact of their words. It's also a chance for them to share their side of the story, perhaps with more clarity now that the big emotions have subsided. They might say, "I was just so mad because," and you can listen, really listen to their perspective. This is also the time to gently reinforce those boundaries we talked about. You can say, "I understand you were feeling really angry, and it's okay to feel angry. We all feel angry sometimes. But in our family, we try to use words that don't hurt each other. So next time you're feeling that upset, what could you do or say instead?" You can even brainstorm some ideas together. Maybe they could punch a pillow, or go to a quiet space to cool down, or learn to say, "Mom, I'm feeling really angry right now. I need some space." The goal is to equip them with healthier coping mechanisms for the future. And most importantly, this moment of repair is about reinforcing your unconditional love. This is huge. Our children need to know, deep in their bones, that our love for them isn't dependent on their good behavior or their pleasant words. They need to know that even when they mess up, even when they say hurtful things, our love remains constant. So, after you've talked it through, a warm hug, a reassuring smile, and words like, "I love you no matter what. Even when we have hard moments, my love for you doesn't change," can be incredibly powerful. It helps them feel secure, and it teaches them about forgiveness and the resilience of relationships. I remember when my own son was much younger, he once yelled, "I hate you," during a particularly frustrating homework session. My heart just sank. Later that evening, after he'd calmed down and finished his work, I sat with him on his bed. I told him very gently that his words had made me feel really sad, because he's the most important person in the world to me. His eyes welled up, and he whispered, "I didn't mean it, Mommy. I was just so stuck on that math problem." We talked about how frustration can feel like a monster sometimes, and we came up with a plan for him to ask for a break next time he felt that way. And then we just hugged for a long time. That moment of repair, I believe, brought us closer. It showed him that we could navigate even the really yucky stuff together. Now, dealing with these "I hate you" moments isn't just about damage control in the heat of the moment, or even the important repair work afterwards. It's also about playing the long game. It's about proactively building a family culture where emotional intelligence and open communication are a part of everyday life. Think of it as preventative care for your relationship with your child. When children feel safe to express their full range of emotions, and when they have the vocabulary and skills to do so constructively, these kinds of explosive outbursts tend to lessen over time. So, what does this look like in practice? Well, it starts with us, the parents. We need to be good role models for emotional expression. Do our children see us handling our own anger, frustration, or disappointment in healthy ways? Do they hear us apologizing when we mess up? It's so powerful for kids to see that even adults make mistakes and that it's okay to talk about feelings. If we're always bottling up our emotions or exploding in anger, it's hard for them to learn a different way. Another really wonderful thing we can do is to make talking about feelings a normal, everyday part of family life. This doesn't have to be a formal, sit-down lecture. It can be woven into casual conversations. You know, when you're reading a storybook, you can talk about how the characters might be feeling. "Oh, look at the dragon's face. He looks pretty grumpy, doesn't he? Why do you think he's feeling that way?" Or at the dinner table, you could do a little check-in. What was one good thing that happened today, and one thing that felt a bit tricky or made you feel a certain way? This helps children develop an emotional vocabulary and normalizes the idea that all feelings are okay, even the uncomfortable ones. Creating a truly safe space for expression is also key. This means listening without judgment, even when what they're saying is hard to hear. If a child feels constantly criticized or dismissed when they try to share their feelings, they'll eventually stop trying. They'll either bottle it up, or it will come out in those less helpful, explosive ways. So when they come to you with a problem, or a worry, or even a complaint, Try to listen with an open heart. Validate their experience. It sounds like you felt really left out when your friends didn't want to play your game. That must have been tough. And of course, proactively teaching them coping strategies for difficult emotions is a gift that will last a lifetime. This could be anything from deep breathing exercises, smell the flower, blow out the candle, to creating a calm down corner in your home with soft pillows and soothing activities. For older kids, it might be journaling, listening to music, or talking to a trusted friend. The more tools they have in their emotional toolkit, the less likely they are to resort to "I hate you" as their default expression of distress. It's like tending a garden, isn't it? We're planting seeds of emotional awareness, watering them with empathy and open communication, and patiently nurturing their growth. It doesn't happen overnight. There will still be weeds to pull, storms to weather. But over time, with consistent effort and a whole lot of love, we can help our children grow into emotionally intelligent individuals who can navigate the complexities of life and their relationships with greater skill and compassion. And that, my friends, is a truly beautiful thing to witness. It's an investment not just in a more peaceful home today, but in their well-being for all their tomorrows. Navigating these moments when our children hurl those painful words at us is undeniably one of the tougher parts of parenting. It tests our patience, our resilience, and sometimes our very sense of self. But I hope our conversation today has offered you a little bit of comfort, a few new perspectives, and perhaps some gentle tools to carry with you. Remember, these challenges are not a sign of your failure as a parent. They are a part of the messy, beautiful, and profoundly human journey of raising children. It's a journey of constant learning for them and for us. And every time we choose understanding over anger, connection over conflict, compassion over criticism, we are strengthening the threads that bind our families together. Please be gentle with yourself. You are doing incredibly important work. And know that even in the midst of these storms, your love is a powerful anchor for your child. Your willingness to learn, to grow, and to meet them where they are, even when it's hard, is what truly matters. You have within you an amazing capacity to build bridges of understanding and to nurture a connection with your child that can weather any storm. Keep your heart open, keep learning, and trust in the power of your love. If this conversation resonated with you and you'd like to continue exploring these kinds of topics together, we'd be so honored if you join our Family Connection Hub community. It's a space where we can all learn and grow together, supporting each other on this incredible parenting adventure. You can do that by giving this video a like. It really helps others find us, and perhaps sharing it with another parent who might be walking a similar path. And of course, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to our channel. We'd love to welcome you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Take good care of yourself and of your precious family.